start blocking people with their dad's cult leader, Paul.
Being this, and it literally showed up as a incarnation.
Paul, but you're
so
a
this is what TV just did for the last 2 hours. You can get a good look at it, and maybe you'll think again. You'll think twice.
Paul,
even if you're not going to be of the world, sometimes you have to be selfish, and then other times you have to be selfless.
Shut the fuck up sometimes, dude.
Man, I can't work with children, animals, or retards.
Shut the fuck up.
So
dude.
that's all three right there, pretty much. That's a rule of show business: no children, animals, or retards. So go ahead.
I mean, it's White Gorilla Incorporated. There's no animals allowed. I mean, like that seems kind of speciesist. Racist. You like the yellow hat man of fucking Curious George or what?
The guy can't have a back and forth.
I'm a surprise, Kevin. They don't see me coming.
It's fucking retarded, dude. It's fucking faggot coward, dude.
Oh man, don't get upset. Shh. It's gonna be okay.
Faggot coward, dude.
It's gonna be okay. Daddy's here.
You got so much power on
Daddy's
YouTube.
Here. I love you.
Outside of YouTube, Paul,
I love you.
If we ever saw each other, you'd be nothing.
I love you.
Thank you for that high quality meme, Mr. OTW.
Wow.
We appreciate that.
That one before. Wow, Paul. Quality. This is.
That was Mr. OT. That was the Canuck.
Wow, artifacted videos from.
Then shut your dang pie hole.
What an idiot.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Well.
Good morning, Vietnam!
What you talking about, Willis?
I got nowhere else to go. Smoking.
Crack.
I want the truth.
Wow, this is amazing stuff. I'm amazed. I'm dazzled.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Got any more?
I think there's one or two more. If I'm not mistaken.
I fucking actually got toilet bowl Earth the fuck off. Yay!
No, Jesus fuck. Now I'm left here.
He got upset. Yeah, he got upset.
Hey, I know how to do that. Cool.
After I'm standing up for my day ones and they fucking just leave me high and
Oh,
dry.
there you go.
Maybe you're right, Polly. Maybe you're right, Polly. Maybe I should just
see. And this is the thing, right? The day ones, a lot of them are never really there when you need them. When the time comes, you've seen YSL and Gunna, right?
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, day ones, YSL Gunna, I'm ordering murder. As soon as the cops come, oh, we didn't do it. We didn't. That was EBT did the hits. See how they are?
Yeah.
And then there's Paulie Boy and EBT standing there with the guns.
You know what? Some days I feel like the only people I can trust is myself and you, Paulie. That's
right. I told you all a long time ago, I'm the best thing you got here and on the ground. When you learn that, you'll be better off.
I mean,
that's why I'm daddy.
That might be the case, and what a sad situation, but that's where we're at.
Fucked up, bro. This is the best you got. I know. It's hard to believe.
Son of a bitch.
What about doing the edibles with EBT? Maybe it'll be better.
Listen. I've been asking EBT to work with me. He wants to stay around
during the day. I can't go during the day. I'm like doing stuff. I go late at night.
Are you ready to work, fat slave? You ready to pipe the fuck up and work here? Or what?
No. Now I'm offended again.
Okay, and this is what I'm saying. You're not really
now I'm
ready.
in my feelings. The fat kid's calling me fat. Like I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to deal with that kind of animosity. It makes me want to spurg out. It makes me want to act out against daddy. You know, I just don't know if I can work with that.
All right, how much contribution is going to take for you to sell your soul and not give a fuck what I call you? Name your price, non-price. What's it going to take in fiat? Not fiat. Excuse me. Wow, that's crazy. 4-ply. Excuse me.
Like a 24-pack of Charmin.
Oh yeah, we can cover that. Like 2 of them.
I'll throw in a
So
cupcake.
you're good to go,
That's
man.
right. Call me Mr. Ripple because I
Bro,
want to squeeze that Charmin.
Full on pogos now, like Antoine, the whole deal. I hope Snafu don't hear that, but I'm working with full on pogos now, bro. It's a different situation nowadays. We could have a green room for you and everything, all types of like snacks and food and shit.
I mean, like what?
It's either that or you just hang out with TBE and Cuck Body Outline and go nowhere.
What kind of snacks are we talking about, though?
I mean, whatever you want. What are you into?
Can we have like little smokies in a crock pot?
Yeah, we could get that. I mean, I'm not really into that because that's me.
Yeah, you know what he means by little smokies, though, Paul. That's code. Gotta watch out.
Well, you'll have to talk to the assistant. I don't want to deal with any of that.
Unlimited honey buns.
That we could. That we definitely could do that.
Oh,
Unlimited ramen noodle packs.
Careful what you
that
commit
should
to,
work.
Paul.
Ooh,
I don't see why that would be a problem.
I'm down with that. I mean, I think I could work with that. I don't know. Maybe some bagels.
Little bit of I don't know, Jim Beam back there finds its way back there. You know,
I don't like bourbon. I like Canadian whiskey personally. I like blended Canadian whiskey.
If you want to come up,
I got a fine bottle of McCormick's in a plastic bottle for you.
Or Scotch, but I don't like bourbon. Scotch or Canadian whiskey. I don't like bourbon.
You notice like just the energy change since that. What was that slave's name? I don't know. His name escapes me. It's probably not important anyway. But ever since he left, you notice just like we're right back to doing what we do, just kind of hanging out, kicking it around.
Yeah, we started talking about food, so the mood changed.
Well, that was the aborted baby boy.
Right, that child. And again, it's like late night. We're not really. I'm not in the mode to kind of like pipe up too much. So we're just hanging out, kicking it, and talking about being successful. In the world and not of it. Right.
So yeah, unknown. I'm not a big fan of zebra cakes. I'm not too big fan of those. The cake in it is okay, but it's the fucking plastic ass frosting on the top of it. Nah, I can't hang with that shit. But honey buns, though. Honey buns, you can put them in the microwave for a little bit.
So the bottom line is we pretty much got you. I mean, I figured that the weight of your heart was through your stomach. So we'll write it up, invoice it, whatever you need. And then I'll have you as the backup this way. Cause I knew from the beginning, there's a good chance Talcott was going to try to take whatever power out of the situation he could. So he's going to try to
I didn't put my John Hancock in anything yet, sir. So let's not put the cart before the horse.
Listen, whatever type of stuff you're into on your own time, don't bring it to this broadcast. Okay. So whatever you want to do with that contract, you do with it, but give it to my assistant.
Ain't nobody bending the knee here, hard hitting fucking letters I can't see this far away from the screen, sir.
Anybody know?
Wait, you're saying you're not bending the knee, so you're kind of like still.
I already told you I'll never bend the knee to the beast of Enslavia.
Well, I mean, you got to kind of show respect and a little bit of reverence.
We bend at the waist just a
bow. Okay. Yeah, he bent the knee, so we're good to go.
No, incorrect.
I might need to put a little bit of Rohypnol in his zebra cake, Paul, but we'll get it done.
False.
Double down on that dose, large fellow.
Who's GJ?
GJ.
Yeah, backstage.
Oh man, Jake fucked himself. Jake, who is that now?
I don't know. GJ. They cam up, but they show me the forest.
Yeah, it's JG. You're corny. Corny. So Jake fucked himself. He's been here for like weeks and months now, and he wants to show off for his buddy EBT. See, this is what you attract: loser, failure, haters who think that they're clever and funny.
Jake.
Yeah. So he brought the hater right out of him. He's been around me for a while now. He can't
Yeah,
come to
I'm
the
not
broadcast.
responsible. I'm not responsible for these.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's me. Well, I guess I attracted loser, failure, haters for some reason. It's definitely not because I am that ever. But what I'm saying is he can't come to the broadcast anymore, Jake. So I don't expect to see you there tomorrow. Don't show up. Toilet bowler, don't show up. I don't want you folks there. Tired of that loser, failure vibe just around my area. It's not good. Jennifer walks in. She goes, "What's that fucking vibe in here? Oh, that energy. I got to loser, failure panel today, an audience." So yeah, we're gonna keep them out tomorrow for everybody's own good.
Mm.
Your
Is that
thoughts?
she sticks the dinner plate through the slot in the door, or
Well, no, there's no actual slot in the door. It's a wooden door. She just kind of opens it,
Mm,
kind of shuffles the stuff in and then closes it.
gotcha. Well, welcome,
up,
JG.
Loser
DJ?
failures.
He gets it. See, me and JG had a problem in the beginning, just some resistance, and then something happened. Right? We just kind of
No, he
merged
hates
a little bit.
everybody.
No, he doesn't. The man's that's a good man, right? He's does what I do sometimes, it seems. I want
He
to believe
sticks
that.
to his gun. He sticks to his guns.
Yeah, he'll test you, see what you're about, and then he gets beyond it. But he's getting it, right? Because we had this argument about him being a loser failure, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And then as we kind of went along, he's been hanging around and watching, and he goes, "You know what? I think this girl is onto something." So we learn a lot here.
Yeah, very informative.
Yeah, I
Unlike
mean, it's
TE,
like
who learned nothing
misinterpreting.
today.
Good job, Dick. Oh man, fucking Dick is like right in there, like hitting every crevice of this broadcast.
Yeah. Bad timing.
I don't know about you guys, but I miss Jack.
I don't know why he left.
Jack should come back.
He doesn't like being told that he needs to get a life.
Oh,
I mean, this is not really brewing any confidence for the people that have already invested in Talcott stock at this point. I mean, do we even know if it's going to happen?
no, but that's the thing.
It's a non-refundable event, right? I mean,
yeah, it's an
Ticketmaster.
investment, non-investment. I mean, ultimately, there's no promises to any of this other than the free gift that will be returned. As I said, see, I made the condition that if all else fails, knowing how Talcott is, we'll get it back up. If that's okay with everyone, we will work with folks individually if there's a controversy, if they're not satisfied. But I suspect, I being a cult leader, of course, that folks will somehow just overlook everything. Say in this business, you got to sell yourself. So when I do busyness, people believe. Okay. Unlike whatever broadcast you're doing over there. Again, see, I don't want to keep calling it back to that. I want you to be part of what I'm doing. EBT person.
Oh, were you talking? I zoned out.
Yeah. I was talking to you.
I did a Talcott. Sorry, brother.
Yeah.
Sorry,
what was
brother.
even happening? Is this real?
Yeah.
You were kind of flashing the images of you and I and Antoine, maybe on a boat with like enough lotion to really just kind of keep our skin moist for a while. You just imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I had a dream last night that it was me, you, Antoine, Jack, and we're in like this giant watermelon patch, and there was like fried chicken just raining down from the sky, and we were just consuming it, just constantly consuming it, right? We just could not control ourselves from consuming these products. I think that's pretty profound to me.
Well, I agree with you. It is profound.
That's a fat person dream.
Yeah, I mean, I do like fried chicken.
Yeah, that's fat people dreams.
I had that dream for dinner.
Chase that bucket,
I had that dream for dinner. It was a good one, Scott.
So you're gonna be the backup for Talcott or what? I still didn't really get a commitment from you.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, he's in. He's in.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, I guess, sure. Why not? Why not?
All right.
I don't
mean,
know.
I
Like,
guess.
I mean, like, I don't know if your audience is going to be receptive to that, though. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no. This is the thing. Funny thing about running a cult is whatever I say, they do.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
See, so
Makes sense.
what we'll just kind of do is maybe, depending on how Jack shows up tomorrow, and then getting closer to the event, non-event, we just fucking cut him right out at the last second if he wants to play games, and then we take the thumbnails X over Talcott, and it becomes just picture this EBT cuck body outline, but he's too much of a bitch. He's not going to take the sacred herbs and plants because he's so godly, right? So we're gonna have to get some others, but just remix.
Yeah, he don't really do that much anymore. But
yeah,
he's kind of like one of those straight arrow. What do you call those guys? The
straight edger.
Straight edger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I have to say I like your Jesse. You do a pretty
Thank
good
you,
job
sir.
with that.
I have many voices that I could do, but I don't because I'm an egoic narcissist, and I wouldn't want anybody to think I was talented.
There you go.
Okay, I got to pipe down for a minute. You guys go ahead and hold down this fantastic broadcasting of excellence for a minute.
Yeah, this is not even my platform. I really don't care how this goes.
Yeah, neither do I.
And I take no responsibility for anything that goes on around me here.
Of course, Cynthia's been taking notes, so maybe she wants to fill in some questionnaires.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. I did notice when certain people were on the panel, energies changed. It's kind of interesting. Paul, before I join your cult, am I going to have to shave my head?
Just your armpits.
Oh, I already do that. So that's
yeah, and your pussy too. That's it.
No, just take the wig off and it'll be fine.
Oh, whoa, hey, hey.
Whoa.
Did it again. I always do.
Cool. It's cool.
She goes to me for a question answer period. Everyone else pipes up, makes it creepy and awkward every time.
I don't understand. I still don't understand.
It's like a specialization they have, right? It's like there's a
It's
trade
like I
school for
still
that.
don't understand why they don't like you, but they're always around you, and then they talk about you, and then when you leave, they praise you. Like it's confusing.
Paul, it's literally like special ed.
Is it Paul the special ed, or is it special ed?
No, it's everybody. We're all on the short bus here.
Scott, I can respect that answer.
Yeah, Paul's already described it. We're like the leech on fish on the shark that like clean the shark's gills, like it's a symbiotic relationship. It's like the clownfish in the amoeba or whatever. Not an amoeba. That's shut up, dumbass. The the fucking thing. You know what I'm talking about.
I get it. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Anemone. Yeah, anemone. Yeah.
Okay.
The
well,
one
it's an interesting dynamic.
But that's
the one positive. The one positive here, Cynthia, is at least we're all trying to learn.
Okay. Sure.
We are the clownfish. We are the clownfish, and Paul is the anemone.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, I think OTW and we started off the broadcast on a different vibe, and it's definitely been like a roller coaster ride. There's been a cast of characters that have come through.
Yeah.
But I definitely like how it all came back down to peace, which gives me hope. Yeah.
Paul,
why is it? I have the feeling Paul's holding his tongue.
I'm just watching the chat.
I'm just shaving my balls right now, hoping I can impress Paul.
Yeah, I was about to do the same.
Getting close there, Dick. Getting close.
I got to do
like
something.
A close shave.
I'm getting in there. All the cracks and crevices.
Who
It makes
shaves
my
their
genitals
balls
look a
anymore,
lot bigger
man?
too, Paul. I feel like I'm average now. Feeling better about things.
Yeah, nobody shaves their balls anymore. Are you a priest?
What are you saying? You have a big bush down there, man? Where
No, quite
getting lost in
contrary,
the
Jay. There's a
confusion of
whole
my big
industry
bush.
built around it now.
Yeah, a buzzer. You buzz your balls. Nobody shaves.
I'm into old.
Oh yeah,
Synthetic
true. Yeah, no,
warriors.
that's too dangerous. That's
Synthetic warriors
dangerous. A little
cousin.
dangerous.
What are you, a priest?
Yeah, I got the fryer haircut on my nutsack. I just got the little circle around in the bald spot.
Anyway, I'm gonna make some cupcakes. You guys want sprinkles on your cupcakes? Or
Yeah, I want some cupcakes,
flavor
man.
preferences?
Rainbow sprinkles,
Rainbow
please.
cupcakes. I got you.
Oh no, not rainbow.
Actually, already had that one in the oven, but
Extra
Nah,
soy and lots of food coloring, please. Lots of food coloring.
red 40
vanilla,
Red 40 is my favorite.
vanilla
Yes,
and chocolate
please. Yeah.
for me.
I got you guys. There's a pube hair in there. Don't mind me. It's just
That's okay. I'm
kind of
not
doing two
worried.
things at once.
Come on, you
I
can't
just wanna
shave
make
and do
sure-
make cupcakes at the same time. What are you talking about?
I just
Well,
want my
and
cup to have
performing in
cream
this
the
amazing
middle.
broadcast. Quite a multitasking talent that I have.
Who's just
Shaving
speaking?
my sweaty balls while making you guys cupcakes and delivering amazing content. That's what I do.
What kind of cupcakes do you like, Cynthia?
I love Dick's sweaty balls.
We knew you did.
Hmm
Went without
Red
saying. but I'm
velvet.
glad you said it.
I
There
like
you
red
go,
velvet
Cynthia.
cupcakes.
Good
For
job.
what
I
it's
like
worth.
that. With some cream cheese.
God, you remind me of somebody from a mafia movie. Does anybody ever
Cream
told you that
cheese and
story?
cupcakes. Dude, you're fat as shit.
Yes, only a little bit bigger than you, or your head, should we say?
Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Yeah, he's from the cannoli crime family. You might have heard of him.
Fugazi.
Fugazi, fuckhead.
Isn't that
Cynthia, you Italian?
isn't that hold on, isn't that Kareem down there? The crypto alchemist? Dude, me and Jennifer, we like late at night. Because I got this thing with collecting loser failure broadcasts.
No, that's Burn Eye, the science guy.
No, it's him. Pretty sure. Me and her have been like watching that whatever you call it broadcast is, and boy, is it great. Yeah, I want to talk to him.
Oh, he'll come up. Bernie. Oh wait, well he doesn't have the link. Wait, let me fuck. How do
I'm
I
gonna have to
get your
screen
link?
share. I'm gonna have to screen share his Facebook too. I want to show you how he takes the same picture from the same angle, no matter where he is.
I think you might be talking about somebody else. I think though.
No, that's him.
What does he talk about?
Crypto and libertarianism.
No, yeah, you're talking about a different guy. Burn Eye, the science guy, is like alternative energy theories and
That's
like
the crypto
Tartaria.
alchemist. That's
Yeah.
crypto alchemist.
Yeah,
You sure you know who that is?
makes monoatomic like substances, monoatomic gold. Like does all
I
kinds
gotta
of
double check. There might be more than one of these people.
Yeah, shout out to Crypto Alchemist, Burn Eye, the science guy. OTW knows who he is, I'm sure.
Free Talcott.
Not sure.
Free him from what? His insanity?
Talcott's a lost cause.
That's never gonna happen, Paul. Never gonna happen.
Well, we could still love him.
Yeah,
You know, love him
you're
from a
right.
distance.
You can love him. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I won't email him, but I love him.
Yeah, I'm looking to waste more time on YouTube, so I'm looking him up right now. Subbing him up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go because
I was saying
I'm
the
like
same.
Dick. I don't need to waste time on here because I'm so like just miserable at the house with that woman that he calls a mama. Excuse me, a wife. Um. So yeah, I'm out of it and I'm out of here. I want to end up like EBT, just slurring my words, completely disconnected from reality. Not a good look. So that
Bye,
I will.
Paul.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Say
sir.
tomorrow,
All
Paul.
right, you better
Hang with
be
the
there.
dogs, you're bound to get fleas.
I love you,
I love you, brother.
Paul.
I don't know
love you,
why.
Paul.
Right. I don't know why any
Sweet
of that
dreams.
happened.
Sweet
I'm gonna
dreams,
put
all
you
you
on the list,
cupcakes.
DBT. I'm gonna start making a list now between now and the event of who's gonna be part of this. You're in, and I'll decide who else, and we'll go along. Maybe we'll put Scott in the event too. We'll see what the people want. The event, non-event. We'll vote tomorrow. All right, I'm out of here.
Bye,
All right.
See you
Paul.
folks later.
See you around, bud.
Later.
I'm gonna
Yeah, we
go
got
too. I'm gonna
104
go.
people watching right
Nice.
now. Make sure to hit that like button and share this out.
Oh, I shared it out.
EBT.
Definitely
Hey,
shared it out.
Skyler, you're his bitch.
Hey, don't dox me on here, JG. You're better than that, sir.
I'm gonna go too. Thank you, OTW.
I said your first name.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down too. I believe it's past my bedtime.
Thank you for having me up. I appreciate it. Everyone have a good evening, and I will see y'all when I see y'all.
All right. Much love, Cynthia. See you next time.
Just in time.
Take care, Carol.
We'll see you later.
Anybody that wants to come up on panel, feel free to join. Links down below.
Go.
All right, first time on, man. This was awesome. I'm ecstatic.
All right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Hope you come back some other time. And there's the Grand Rising show tomorrow morning. So 9 o'clock Eastern time, Montreal, Canada. Be sure not to miss tomorrow morning's episode of the Grand Rising Talk Show.
Yeah, I
Anything can
can't
happen.
make it, man. I got a porn shoot tomorrow. I can't make it, man.
All right, no problem, sir. There's
Good one,
all
JG.
kinds of opportunities. We do all kinds of shows over here. We're like 7 days a week. So, how about you, Mr. Dick? Anything you'd like to say to the audience before we kick the bucket?
No, sir. I'm just knee deep in cupcake batter right now.
Greetings, gentlemen. Greetings.
Beautiful.
Don't forget,
thing.
I want vanilla and chocolate, man.
Yeah, man. My specialty. Chocolate
love
fudge.
vanilla.
That's
What's
going on, Keith?
Yeah.
I'm working
Not
hard
much.
for
How about you, Steve?
Yeah,
Thanks
I love
everybody
you,
for hanging
Thanks.
out.
Fucking tired, man. Working.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody's
All
time.
them-
Hey, bro.
all them
You got a
kids-
Cash App?
No, I don't.
Who's just kind of hanging along for the ride and
Just
riding
PayPal.
on the coattails of OTW's success here.
I am working on a new
Appreciate all the loser
new
failures
donation
coming
button
out.
that should accept everything else.
To be a loser and a
We'll
failure.
see how that works out here soon. Yeah, them
Have a great evening.
It was really
Yeah, I only use Cash App. I don't use PayPal. Fuck them.
So,
What's up? Looks like everybody's jumping ship here.
Well, yeah, it's something both Paul and I'm sure Paul has noticed here. We've got all these people coming forward to claim to be Jesus and shit, and all these people that are claiming to be Jesus are people that somehow just recently found Jesus, and all of a sudden they're scholars and shit. TBE, Drew, I don't know how long Enslaved by Truth's been at it, but you know, this is something I've been dealing with all my life, and it gets sickening to see that people think that they got to follow Jesus in the name. And that's not the true premise. I think people have it mistaken. They're supposed to be following the way and the life. And so when they start interpreting all these scriptures things on their own as being relatively new at it, like I said before, I was the young kid that walked around with dictionaries. Well, one of the proponents of dictionaries was the beginning of those words in the dictionary, which was the scripture. So in my early upbringing in the church, I was the one asking questions of the elders of things like, you know, when I was in those foster homes, I went from different religion to different religion, to different religion. And so what I saw was the component that they all pose the same thing: do unto each other as you would have them do unto you. Okay. Then in the scriptures that I saw, they were translated differently. So, and one of the biggest things that we always find a problem with is defining God. And in those scriptures, they spell this Yahweh different ways. Sometimes they use vowels and sometimes they don't. So in my adult years in researching the etymology of linguistics and language and various different things along those lines, I come to find out that the beginnings of our vocal language started out with vowels. You know, simple, basic guttural sounds, which were all vowels. We didn't do that.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. And so we didn't do the S and the various harder consonant type sounds. Sometimes there might be a W, you know, you know, there's a semblance of a W there, but it's essentially a vowel. In our modern language, we see that the language consistently changes over time. And so when they try to interpret these scriptures, which are nothing but allegories and hearsay, and every national leader around this world and all your top executives and the people that are actually running this commercial system, this admiralty, this maritime, this law system, they know this basic concept. You can't possibly prove them to be true, so you accept them as hearsay. And then when you turn around and pose them to everybody else as if though they're true, and that's what you believe in, you're contradicting yourself. This is why I say I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in that stuff. I do my research so I can discern for myself. And in that discernment, I see a lot of the same things like Paul does. I researched a little bit of the Tao and the Muslim and Hinduism and along with all the different sects of Christianity, they have those same kinds of things in all those other different religions. There are multiple different forms of Muslim. And this is one of those issues. You have different interpretations and then you associate it with some kind of religion. Well, that religion is still hearsay. Every last bit of it.
What makes you think that the limited mind of any man can even comprehend or define, I can't remember how you started this, trying to define God or understand, whatever the word you use. I mean, it's a fool's errand. There's no way we're ever going to get there.
Exactly.
We're far too limited.
This is why when the people ask me what I think God is, I tell them I think it's more essentially the source of life. Whatever.
I get people asking me, "Are you a Christian?" I go, "I don't know. What is it? Depends on. I don't know what that means. I don't like labels for one thing, and just because whatever it means to one individual doesn't mean it means the same to the next."
Exactly. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a video here. We're gonna watch a short bit of it real quick. And this guy is great. If I can find him again.
Well, it doesn't seem to me like you have to really know much of anything. But I think belief is huge, and your intent follows that. And that can be huge.
Beliefs have fucked this world up big time. It's a plague in this world.
Beliefs have. If when you try to put them on other people, of course, when you try to tell other people what they should and shouldn't believe, I think it's a very personal thing, what you believe. Because what you believe to yourself and what you tell yourself matters more than what anybody else would say.
Well, I can't
That's
remember
the
these
truth.
guys.
Each of us needs to speak for ourselves. What's true to you? What do you believe? I mean,
True, but then there's crazy credulous on the same beliefs that fuck this whole world up, and it definitely affects our lives.
Well, I've seen the power of it, so that's. I mean, I hear where you're coming from, but I also don't think it's about projecting it to other people. I think it's a personal thing. That's why you can't do it for other people.
Exactly, and that's why, you know, I was on earlier on OTW's panel, I think it was, and TBE, and this is one of the main things, you know, if you really truly think you're following the way of Jesus, think about the way you talk to other people, and when you come up on these panels, like I repeat constantly, if you're going to have a true Socratic debate, you got to remember, even City Hall gives you 3 minutes. You know, even the people that everybody believes is oppressing them gives you the 3 minutes. They give you that respect to voice your opinion, no matter what it is. So what's the problem? What's the problem with the people on these panels that can't see that? That's why your life is in chaos. You make it chaos. Go ahead, Steve.
There's just always a debate about it. There's always a debate about the religion. You know what I mean? Debate about God. What about God? Debate about Jesus. You know, Christianity.
Are we talking about religion? Or are we talking about faith? Because religion is not the same thing.
All of
as
it.
faith.
See, here it is already. Is religion is faith, spirituality, the whole believing of what you believe in.
You're going to tell us words don't matter because you're going to lump everything all. It does. The courts definitely don't play that way.
Well,
words do matter there.
I think it comes more down to the perspective again. Like, you know, everybody's looking at this perspective as what everybody else is doing and this and that. And again, all the scriptures tell you to know thyself. So why are you looking for answers in everybody else? I don't question your faith. I question what you do in your life.
If you've studied any physics at all and see where that sort of backs up religion and faith and all that stuff, I mean that's what I found that was more you know, affirming than anything. That in this other realm of science, they're finding these things that really correlate and show these spiritual, you know, realities, these things that people have known about for thousands of years. And now here comes along science going, hey, we're seeing this thing that looks a lot like this thing that they've been talking about forever. You know, it's like, well, I just think that adds a lot of credence to the whole thing.
I just don't see a lot of happiness.
It has to do with intention and your own thoughts. And, you know, there's experiments with water. There's experiments with plants. You know, people will throw their intentions at them and then study them, and they react to these intentions. And it's pretty amazing. And we're water. We got all this water in us. And if we're throwing this negative shit around all the time, well, guess what? You're going to have a pretty negative fucking life.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things, like I spoke the other day, back to the vowel sound. When you use your mouth in making vowel sounds, they create toroidal currents. The consonants cause a disturbance in the already or presentable toroidal currents of the vowels within. And so when you start adding the consonants, they change the sounds of the vowels, just like the I before the E, except after C. And that's kind of weird that you can have weird and Keith and have the EI come out sounding differently.
Right. That's the problem with the English language, is it's so easy to.
Everything's morphed. Everything's morphed in both the phonetic and the grapheme forms. So it's truly getting back to know thyself again and the power in your words. This is why I say, coin your words or purse your lips. When you start using all those legal terms and everything, what you're doing is you're getting yourself into that twist of the toroidal currents. That's causing the chaos before you.
Well, even when you start going down that pathway, it's pretty chaotic, though, because then it's like, well, what do you mean by what you just said? Which definition of that word? I mean, I can't hear a word without going, and every time we use the word generally, we look at each other and we give a little smirk because, you know, we're not in the military here, you know, but you start thinking about it and the chaos just follows because it's like, I don't really know what you're talking about half the time. Can we stop and define each word you're using? Probably not.
Yeah.
So they're words of Babel then. They're used
We are in the military.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah. And real quick, I want to take a time to shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining. Earl Pipe, Lizzle Friend, JR Filthy, Moon Peach, all you guys. Thanks for joining. Hit the share, like, and subscribe buttons. If you're on Hecklebus, go over to El Perro. And if you're on El Perro, go over to Hecklebus. Hit those share, like, and subscribes and help the analytics.
So you did this for Paul, right? Because his thing ended earlier.
No, I did this for me. Because
but Paul's ended earlier, and then you guys it was quiet, and then I saw you were back up, and then
I went and did some stuff with my companion, and then I came back and I saw OTW was on, and here the panel's full and everybody's, you know, squawking still. So I thought, when is this thing when all these cons come out and finding Jesus going to end? Because again, it goes back to Paul and I again. We've been living this shit all of our lives.
Well, it seems that Paul put out a bit of a call for such things. I seem to recall him saying that he was looking for more people who are something along more spiritual or at least had figured some things out. But those are probably not going to be the people that are watching generally.
Well, no, especially when it's a trigger session, you know, and that's blatantly out there. But again, he's absolutely right. I think he would draw some people that are spiritual and faithful because they want to come in and see if there's somebody in there that can test them. Oftentimes, that's that ego test. And those are the people like Aaron and Jack that really need the help. Tommy, Mexican Jesus, yeah, they need help, but their help is obviously a little bit different. So, but again, I'm still saying it all goes back to the language, and you know, here we are in these modern times, and English is the Babel language. It is not constructed as English as it was when it was first formed, and even then, it was borrowing and adopting from other languages, and this is a common element even in Latin, Greek, German, every language on this earth. They adopt from the earlier languages. Same with our cultures. They adopt from earlier cultures. We have this thing about people going around with dreads. Well, you can't. That's not your culture. The fuck it ain't. If we're all one from one source, then we're all supposed to share in those cultures. The difference is that lineage. You know, that's where we get into the element of racism. And don't get me wrong, I'm not racist at all. I believe in the preservation of every race. That's a different aspect. You know, you can have a mixing and melting pot, but just like they do with animals, they want to keep a pure breed. We should be concerned about that with our own species. Don't you think?
I'm still not convinced, no.
Well, I think we should. It keeps us rooted in those heritages deeper, I think.
Really?
You know, well, yeah.
And why is that so important? What does that have to do with me here and now? Whatever the fuck happened 200, 300 years ago.
It's not a matter of what it has to do with you. It's a matter of accepting of the roots and origins and knowing that they all come from one. So
I understand that. Of course we all come. Well, maybe,
so the cultures that come out of it are fine, but like dog breeds, you don't want to just outbreed them. They become all mutts.
So we need some human husbandry, is what you're saying?
Essentially, it's not human husbandry. It's just maintaining a lineage.
Well, I understand there are people that do attempt to do that.
Okay.
I'm sure there are pockets in the South where there's probably communities that may have considered effort. Huh?
Put it to you this way: if God really existed and He is a male form thing, and he created life, he would want it to continue, but it would always have to source back to the origin. This is the same concept as the Treaty of Berne in protecting the author's literary and artistic works. You have to be able to go back to the original publishing. That's the problem we're having with the scriptures.
Well, allegedly, there have been plenty of species that have died off.
Right. Does mankind have to be one of them? And if not, isn't the wisest preservation tactic the way that we naturally protect the other creatures in life?
We naturally go to war. We naturally have strife and
That's
division.
what we do, but shouldn't we be acting just like the other creatures? He says we live in this world, and that's what we're supposed to observe for our true knowledge. We're not supposed to seek knowledge out of another man.
Well, I'm not sure how I would have ever learned if I didn't get knowledge from other men and women.
Well, how does a man learn how to fish? By watching the animals?
Well, I'm sure I've learned some things on my own, but I've also learned a lot of things from others that I wouldn't have figured out on my own. So, I mean, I guess we can split hairs on that all the way, but.
Well, yeah, but.
Maybe you would have learned more, right? Without the words of Babel and the curriculum,
Exactly.
the educational system. If you'd have been observing nature, you might be much more sustainable in your decisions and in the way that you conduct yourself.
Well, I won't argue that there weren't some probably negative leaning things that I was taught by other people as well, but I think there was probably some positive things too, things that I might, like I said, might not have figured out, or I might not have figured out as soon, or in a more.
But that's because you had your own understanding of it because you actually did something. What we're talking about here is taking somebody else's knowledge and passing it on as knowledge, and you have no fucking firsthand experience.
I understand what you're talking about. Yeah, that's dangerous, obvious.
You know, and that's what we're talking about. These people that come to find Jesus, you know, that's the con. You can't find Jesus. You have to find the way that Jesus walked. It's not about the name. It's about what you do. I'd give a fuck less if it was Jesus or Thoth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, it's just a label. That's all it is. And it's back to the language being spells and chaos and confusion, words of Babel, because people get stuck on the label, the name, and they don't even know what it means or what it's pointing to. It's just an archetype, graven image in their mind that they've created or that someone else created for them and delivered on a silver platter. And now they think that's God.
Well, yeah, and everybody, think about this. Everybody's waiting for the enumeration of the beast, and that was done the day you were fucking born. You think they're going to just come along and put an RFID chip in? You know, they already fucking produced a form of tracking you, and you do it voluntarily. Fucking big dummy corporations. And don't get me wrong, I did it for many years myself. I kicked myself in the ass. I'm done with it, though. I moved on. It's a difficult life, tell you what.
I'll second that.
But again, just like Paul says, that bag will come at the end.
What's the benefit of worshiping a god or worshiping a creator? Is it, since I don't do that, is that, what do you view?
No, I don't worship a god or a creator either. I just keep that thing in my mind at all times. Every breath of life I take is an act of God. It's an act of life. It's an act of the source of life.
Well, it's like
I feel like it's more, right? Yeah, like it's just the way you walk. It's the way you move. It's the way you deal with your others. You know, I get the idea of loving your brother as you love yourself because we are one. What I do to another, I do to myself. And that is a huge change in how, you know, I spent probably the first 40 plus years of my life definitely not doing that. And when you do that and you see the difference in your experience, the difference in your world, and things start to happen that, you know, you probably didn't even think would ever happen, and you just can't believe how good things have gotten, and it just happened.
Absolutely. And that's one of the important things about going back and reflecting on your life, good or bad. And this is the thing that bothers me about people like Jack. He doesn't want to look back on his life and see what was happening and who played what part, because he's afraid to admit his own fucking responsibility. And that's a fucking coward. Don't tell me.
All I heard him say is that he didn't like other people, but he wants God to like him. It's like, well, I think your God wants you to like your fellow man. So maybe start there.
Yeah, don't tell me you love me and that you think God sent you to send a message and you can't even reflect on your own fucking life and let people know what your fault in it. He won't admit any fault anywhere, and that's your first clue of a severe narcissist. Period.
Well, I don't know him enough. I haven't spent enough time trying to fix him. So,
yeah, and I'm not gonna. I tried to help him, and he just a few times. I went back to him a couple times in good honor. He's the same Jack. You can see how I changed, and Jack's still the same Jack. And like Paul said earlier, it doesn't matter who you are. He doesn't respect you. It doesn't matter if you're a black or a woman or anything. Jack don't like it because he don't like himself. Jack don't like himself because he's a lazy motherfucker who doesn't know how to tell the truth. Pure and simple. And if he thinks any one of us believes him in anything he says, he's absolutely insane. You and I all know better than that.
One USC
well,
one.
and to not talk about him or anybody in specific, but in general, it's interesting because when you're out there and you're interacting with people, and there are a lot of people out there like that, and you have to be careful because those people can blindside you because you might think they're totally okay, but something about them is not quite what you might expect, or at least give them the credit for. That's one of my weaknesses.
Well, yeah, and it's funny, I mentioned earlier too, or yesterday or something, I found it odd that Jack didn't find Christ or God until 2018, he says, and he named his son Dominic, which literally means the Lord. And then Dominic's saying is memento mori, which means know that you must die. The continuation of that, however, is that in knowing that you must die, you must know that you must live too. So get off your lazy fucking asses and start doing something, because that's how you prove your spiritual acts. That's what people listen to. Your actions will always speak louder than words, particularly.
Here's what I wonder about that, because I don't know what. Well, I know. Yeah. Okay. So I heard Paul, I heard you, and I have my own experience, and what we all three did share on some level was this brush with death, if you will. This where we all, by all accounts, probably should be dead. We're not. We're here. There's something very liberating about that. There's something very much, I'm on borrowed time. I'm only here by the grace of God. I mean, whatever, that sinks in when you've done that, which is an unfortunate thing to have to go through to get to this point. You know what I mean?
I do.
Only you could get there without that.
I've been many instances in my life that, like I said before, somebody reaches across that table and takes the biscuit off my tray. I have a habit, and it's just natural instinct. I don't know what to do about it. It's just natural to me. I've never been any other way. I can't let people push me around and walk all over me. I've been telling people all my life, you ain't my daddy. And in that, I knew I had to look out for myself because there wasn't no daddy around to look out for me.
Yeah, see, I just the opposite. Yeah. I would back down. I've been a coward most of my life. It was trying to get over that. Been pushed around more just because I just didn't want to deal with any of it. It was just easier to duck out than to have to deal with the stress, to have to deal with any of that.
I think about this. I think about this every day, man. It's easier to take the coward route. It's easier to take the rat, snake, conniving, shifty fuck route.
Well, I don't know about that.
Use it the cowardly route.
Just self-preservation. It wasn't about trying to fuck people over. It was about caring for me. So they did this thing in high school they called a cattle drive. They took all the freshmen and they made them crawl down the hallway mooing, and the seniors would kind of kick at them and whatever. It was a whole hazing thing. I hid in my locker I mean, I was able to like hide myself mostly in my locker, and they basically went right by me. They just ignored me. But I didn't get hazed. I didn't get picked on. I didn't get bullied around in that one instant, and it was worth it. But then I look back on it and going, maybe if I'd gone through that, those guys might not have given me so much shit down the road.
There you go.
I don't know.
I had to learn that.
Yeah, I don't know, because my experience says different. Because, like I said, I've always been the way I was, but yet I was always bullied. It never changed. It just escalated. It escalated to the point of hitting people over the head with shovels. You know, I'm not proud of that, but again, like I said, that's natural instinct. Don't come at me with a shovel.
That's why I don't think it's good to say absolutes of what's good, right, and true with these things, because who can know another man's spirit but the Most High? And in truth, all I would ask of anyone else is what I would ask of myself, is to follow the conscience that the Most High gave me. I leave the rest up in faith. And if I'm being honorable to what's given to me, who's faithful with little will be given much. So it really comes down to presenting that truth and doing it in love. And ultimately, you let the chips fall where they may. Wizard's following the conscience that sears him. He's walked in his shoes. I've walked in mine. You've walked in yours. I dealt with bullying as a child, and I had a different experience. I had to punch the motherfucker in the nose repeatedly and stand up for myself till I got some breathing room. And it was not till I did that I was able to conduct myself in the way that I wanted to, because there was just too much energy coming against me.
Yeah, and not only that, but when we come to that love and placating to that, we've got to remember we've got to have that other side, which is respect. And when I say respect, it's, Dick, I respect the fact that if I can reach over and stab a motherfucker for taking food off my tray, I'm not going to reach over and take food off your tray, because I know you got that same capability.
I always figure if somebody needed to steal my shit, they needed it much worse than I did.
Yeah, and it comes down to knowing your power, and that you're not the all-powerful, and everybody else has the same power. Why?
No, but see,
we're just pass-throughs. The power comes from another source. Go ahead, JG.
Oh, somebody steals my stuff. Oh, they needed it more than I did. Nah, man, that's not the right perspective. You don't steal from people.
Got me this far.
But that's part of the problem that Paul and I are talking about, is letting people do things like that to you. It's got to stop. There's
been enough times you can't do anything about it. It just happens.
Are you a good man?
You can do something about it. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, there was one time, I kid you not, I was loading my car up in the morning. It was very foggy.
Word your shit better, man.
It was, well, whatever. I'm not going to, it's shit. I didn't come into the world with any. I'm not leaving with any. I'm sure as fuck not going to give that much of a shit about it while I'm here.
Right. And the same aspect is, it says that ye should even hate your own body, for if you don't, you can't walk with Christ.
And not only that, I've always had abundance around me. I still have abundance around me. And I don't have to slave away at a fucking job anymore. I still do work, but I do it on my terms. That's hugely free.
Yes, absolutely.
No, so was it worth it for me to get uptight because somebody stole some of my shit 10 years ago? How does that affect me now? It has no effect at all, because I didn't let it for you.
Well, I would hope you'd use the experience to find solutions for the future so it doesn't keep happening.
Well, exactly. It doesn't mean I don't take precautions, and it doesn't mean I don't learn from such things, because you're right. It is annoying. It's a pain in the ass. I'd rather not have my shit stolen, but I'd also not going to let it mess with my inner self. I mean, why would I let that disrupt inside my peace?
Yeah, and that's
my
problem. That's my problem. As you see, I still have an issue with it, but I hope you see that I'm improving. Go ahead, Dick.
I was just going to say, I look at it that if my conscience tells me that I should turn the other cheek, and the pastor says, no, you should have punched that motherfucker in the nose, which way did I dishonor God? And likewise, if my conscience tells me I should not turn the other cheek, and that I need to stand up for something, and this has become habitual, and if I don't, deal with it, it's going to continue. And then the pastor says, no, you should turn the other cheek. How have I dishonored God? I should do what I know in my heart is good, right, and true. And if I listen to anybody else in that, other than to just gain perspective, but I violate what is in me, then I violated God. That's the way I see it. And so that allows me to have differentiation between others' perspectives and mine, that they're walking their own journey. I have not walked in their shoes. And so the conclusion they come to, I have to respect at some level. And if they're being dishonorable or disingenuous, they'll have to face the Most High in that, and they'll judge themselves, and they'll be condemned as a result.
Yeah, and that's why Paul talks about sticking to your principles. Man's got to stand on a square. You go around changing your principles, it's because your foundation in principles is in a belief. See, my foundation principles, I've developed them because of my instincts. I act just like an animal. That's one of the reasons I tell you, you do not want to be my friend. You might see some fucked up shit, not even having anything to do with you. I don't play games. I've been surrounded by 30 people with guns and shit on the highway out in fucking Massachusetts. I'm not playing games. I ain't going to play games. I never have. Get over the fear in your life and start learning how to live with knowledge. Otherwise, you're dying every day. It's silly.
I don't know, man. If it works for him, it works for him. I mean, I don't know what to make of those people who don't seek these things you're talking about, but there's enough of them around. I can go point them out. I've talked to them. I've tried to reason with them. I've tried to, I can be neighborly with them. That's about it, though, because I don't see much deep stuff there. And I want deeper stuff in my life. I want to be able to have those conversations.
And that's my predicament too. The communication, how we talk to each other. Yeah. That's the whole basis of these people that are making these claims, and they come up and somebody's trying to say something, and the first thing they want to do is interrupt, or they ask for advice or help or something. And the first thing they do is turn around, rebut it, and tell you it's no good, or ask you where your experience is, to where's your proof. I've been living this shit all my life. I tell everybody, go ahead and look me up online. You can find out that record on me online. And no, they don't want to do that because they already know the census of 93 cases on the record. And their presumption in their own fucking head is that 93 cases I lost. You silly motherfuckers.
Hey, Keith, let me ask you about this. Because this is what I really am curious about, this whole thing, doing this. I've had people tell me in the past that I should do a show. And then I see that this is what you guys are kind of doing here. And I find that very interesting. And what I'm wondering, though, is have you been able to help enough people? I mean, has that been clear to you, at least on some levels?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You think I beat my own child support case and other people haven't used that information to beat theirs? You think I didn't get my child back and other people didn't use that information to get their children back? You think I'm playing games, people? Come on.
Well, no, I'm just wondering, because that's what I understand you're trying to do here, is help people. And I'm just not sure that on the day-to-day, like for instance on Paul's page, I'm not seeing a lot of that happening there. So I'm just wondering how you find these things out.
Because if they're going to use that information, they get it from me.
Have they come back and told you that, is what I'm asking? Do you have specific, I mean, not that I want you to share. I just want to know.
Most certainly.
If there's examples you can share, that would be interesting to hear about.
Cuyahoga County, Ohio.
I got an example for you.
Okay.
Hold on real quick. Cuyahoga County, Ohio. And I've been telling people the most important definition in the Bible is called adoption. And you see what the Bible says about adopting the children of Israel. And when you walk into court and they've got some fucking case, you adopt it. Been telling people all along, you ain't got to follow their rules. You adopt their fucking shit. You line item veto them, veto the items that don't work and override them. You have that power. And if you don't learn that, that's your problem. Been telling people this all along. Well, where's your proof? Where's your proof? I do it every day.
I don't want proof. I just want to hear some stories about how you help people. That's all. I want to hear you talk about other people, not yourself so much. That's what I'm asking.
Well, yeah, but I can't do that. That's their story.
Yeah. Keith helped me understand trust law and how a
There
trust
you go.
works.
I learned about the UCC from
Thank
Keith.
you. That's what I'd like to know. That's what I'd like to hear about. How you
Well, I was showing
inspire
my
others
license.
using this medium.
Well, again, it's like we're up here today. One of the main concepts is all these people coming forth with all these claims. They want to say this and say that. I don't care if you're making a Jesus claim or not. If you're going to be a decent and respectable man and you want communication with other men, you allow the communication to happen. You don't disrupt it and put your foot in there and make sure that everybody comprehends what your comprehension is. You can't do that. I can explain things to you, but I cannot comprehend it for you. So all I can do is listen to you the best I can so I can get my best comprehension of what you intend. And then I will form my questions based on that in return. I've become very good at asking questions. I've been doing it all my life. You're not my daddy. Who the fuck are you?
Get a Cash App, Keith.
Working on it. I got to figure it out, though. I got a new phone, and I tried to set it up, and it comes back. Now I'm getting notices on my phone that you spent 12 something on Cash App, or you received $2 on Cash App, or what. I don't even have a Cash App account, and when I went to set it up, it took me this Jason dude's account, so I got to get a hold of him, find out how to get it off this phone. It's that Cash App account is still connected to this number.
I owe you some money for your services, pal.
Appreciate it.
But I don't use PayPal, so.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it seems
you
like
know,
people love or hate the conversations about religion or God or spirituality, and I'm fascinated by it, and I find myself asking more questions now than anything else, just to give people the opportunity to have their 3 minutes, if you will, or whatever, so they can articulate. Because I see all that pent up frustration that people really want to get a word in edgewise, and you know, I'm trying to just create that space to allow people to just present what they want to present and not be overly judgmental with it. And I enjoy the conversation, whereas others, I hear a lot of people in the chat saying, "No, I don't like that. I don't want to hear that kind of rhetoric." But I guess it's to each their own.
Well, I'm just curious because earlier what I witnessed earlier
Spirituality,
was
God, Jesus, all of that. I was pretty naive. I've learned a lot from especially Dick and Keith. A little bit from Jack, but he just gets so angry.
well, and what I saw earlier was the screen had like 9 people on it, and it was pretty chaotic. And they were still like, hey, come on up to the panel. And it's like, how many more people do you need up here? Trying to get a word in edgewise, like you said. Yeah. It's.
Well, like I said, people come.
I wonder who's learning from that. That's what I kind of wonder.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like those kind of panels so much. I'm learning from them myself, but I don't get to pose a lot of the information I want to. So that's why I have my own panel and I do my own stuff. Because it's, again, one of my biggest concepts when people come up and interrupt is that not only do I have a right to express what is in my heart and my mind, but other people have a right to know. So if you're truly supposed to listen to the message and not the messenger, why the fuck is everybody shutting the messenger up? How do you expect you to get return respect in regards to that? If you're not going to let somebody else get their message out, you're destroying the message, not the messenger. It's sick. People think, well, how come our society is so stupid? Because you keep doing it to yourself. But again, I don't, and it's not necessarily about Jack either. Like I said, you got Aaron and Mexican Jesus and Tommy, and you still got Kid Row in there. Remember Kid Row? Kid Row showed up here recently.
I've met old couples that were quite successful at pretty much never questioning anything, and they'd gotten to old age in life, successful through this whatever system, if you call it, but never having to. And I'm very fascinated by that because that's not going to be me, obviously. But that's like, wow. So that it does work for people. So I can't totally throw it out.
Well, the problem though is that I understand exactly what you're talking about because my mom and dad both worked for the government their entire lives. Okay. My mom worked for the Social Security Administration for 29 years. I guarantee you she didn't know the first thing about Social Security Act. My dad worked as a real estate appraiser. I guarantee you he didn't know the first thing about titles.
Yeah, see, what I find is a common theme of the people that you mentioned is they're not open to hear another perspective. And even the process of asking them a question threatens their narrative to the degree where a guy like Aaron, or I've seen it with Jack, and just by asking the question, it's, why are you asking that question? What is your purpose? Yeah, it's like, well, why can't it just be a genuine inquiry and something that you can give perspective to? And so then you find even the attempt to try to understand where they're coming from is circumvented by their own fear of, having a genuine conversation.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to be proven wrong. Yeah, nobody wants to be proven wrong because they really ain't pushing a message. They're pushing their personality. I don't give a fuck what the message is I'm putting out. If you can prove it wrong. If you can prove it wrong, then I don't give a fuck about the message. Then I'm going to retract and I'm going to make sure that what I say is true and bountiful. Mom used to say, Keith, you always think you got to be right. No, Mom. No, Mom. I just don't want to walk around sounding like a fucking dumbass babbling idiot like everybody else.
Likewise.
Well, that's where the psychology comes in. Oh, you always want to be right. That's like a manipulative angle.
It is. And that's, again, we're talking about the indoctrination of an entire nation for many centuries. It's been going on since the age of Babylon. It's just sickeningly spread. Instead of the Tower of Babylon falling, what do you think they're doing? I showed it in Saudi Arabia the other day. They're trying to build another Babel Tower.
You see, I've always loved being wrong. It's like, you prove me wrong, I will learn something.
Exactly.
When I'm wrong, when I make those mistakes, I don't want to make those mistakes again. So being wrong has been one of my greatest teachers. And I'm not so wrong a lot of times because I don't say shit that I can't back up. I don't want to put myself out. I don't want to be that wrong. So I'll take a cautious route in that regard.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to just keep asking questions. The true sense of God is knowledge. So your true benefit again is knowledge. That's how you know God, is through your knowledge. That's the spirit. Becoming wise so you can gather others and show them how to do it. Going forth with your talents. It's so important. And people forget about it. They don't care about their talents. They got a word to speak and they're going to speak it. And a lot of times they'll use their talents to boast that. I'm a better guitar player than you. Da-da-da-da.
That's the biblical story about the talents. I like that.
Yeah. Well, it's truly what it's about. Again, if you're going to feed a man for a day, all you got to do is give him a fish. That's easy. That's easy. I can go out and catch fish almost every fucking day. That's easy. But the true aspect, again, is the knowledge. And not only just the knowledge in that, but that he gains the wisdom to turn around and repeat it by teaching others.
And weren't we just talking not too long ago about not to be taking instruction from other men? Now I'm confused. We've come full circle.
No, you're not supposed to take knowledge from other men. When another man teaches you, he's giving you firsthand experience. That's how you teach. You don't take your kid out and tell him, okay, go ride a bike. It's not going to be.
That wasn't clear earlier.
Say what?
That wasn't made clear earlier.
It's discernment.
Yeah.
It's just I just find that ironic. Well, on one level, what I thought we were talking about was learning things from other men and saying we're not supposed to. We're supposed to figure it out on our own. But now we're
I
talking
never
about
said that. I
how
never
we
said
should
that.
teach them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, this was my understanding of how the conversation went. That's all.
Yeah. I just, and I'm sorry if it got misconstrued somewhere, but it's a matter of that firsthand experience. You can't take a man on his word. It's the same thing that faith without works is dead. You can't take another man's word without the fucking experience. You can't.
Yeah, and
have faith
again,
without-
oh, go ahead. I apologize.
No, go ahead. I was done.
I was just going to say that it goes back to their words of Babel, and it's the chaos in the spell of these words. So, there's signposts pointing to something, and one person has one perspective. He's using the words to point somewhere, and another person has a different determination or definition on what these things mean, and they see an entirely different picture. I totally got what Wizard was saying, and I live by that same kind of concept, like the internal moral compass, if you will, or guiding principles that were instilled in me by the Creator are my primary authority and what I lean on for wisdom and knowledge. However, I see reflections of that all around me, and through discernment, I can, learn a tremendous amount from other people, but it's not my authority. And so it's just an opportunity to see a reflection of what's happening in me.
Yeah, and that's why when we go forth with our talents, we're supposed to come back with more, and that's the merger of the two knowledges, so that now you can go forth and instead of just teaching a man how to fish, you can teach him how to write, or you can teach him how to do this, or you can teach him how to do that, and it comes to a session where you're teaching multiple things throughout the entire day with everybody that you do things with. That's the true aspect of going forth in your life, is make everything a learning and teaching experience, not just a doing. I mean, again, I say you got to get up and do something, but it's got to be out of experience and wisdom, or knowledge and experience, so you can gain the wisdom. So that means you got to make the effort to make it better, not just to repeat it.
Yeah, and Paul touches on that a lot. A good leader is always going to lead someone back to themselves.
Yeah.
They have to confirm it within them, or it doesn't mean anything. It holds no authority, it has no conviction. It's not going to take root. That seed you plant can only be watered by their own spirit and their own willingness to embody a truth that they find in themselves. If they don't see it in themselves, then it never really has any validity.
Exactly. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about, I know you can pick up a shovel and knock a motherfucker upside the head because I can do it. That's that same spirit. When we're talking about the spirits, we're talking about that's the importance of the number 7, the spirits of proving the spiritual war, and your part in it is knowing that you have the spirit of the reverence of God, the spirit of the fear of God, the spirit of the knowledge, the counsel, the wisdom, the understanding, and the might, because it's only through those things that you gain your strength. It's only through those things that you can let the strength of the Lord and it's his reverence and the fear of the Lord pass through you. You're not supposed to present the reverence of the Lord. You're not supposed to present the fear of the Lord. You're supposed to let that pass through you, whatever, positive or negative event is going on. If you
supposed to, who says supposed to?
Natural instinct. Like I said earlier, you want to call me an asshole, I'm going to get right on you and tell you, let's get it straight. I'm not an asshole. I'm the whole fucking ass. I perfected that part. People tell me you got to quit being an ass. No, it's a matter of balancing it. So if you can be the best ass in the room and know when to be the best ass in the room, that's the way to do it. Again, making yourself better every day, so that if you're going to be an ass, you better know when to be an ass. Because if you're being an ass and it's not the right time, you're going to be proven to be a dumbass. And that's only your own doing.
I'm still learning that lesson, but I hear you loud and clear.
It's like I said earlier.
It's how you carry yourself.
Yeah, I got up there and started screaming at TVE, and that was making me the dumbass. You know, I still wasn't, no matter how I go with those kind of people, I can't get the message out. So I've got to learn how to be able to present what I have to on a platform that I can speak. And like I said, even City Hall gives you 3 minutes. So I've got to do that for other people on the panel too. And I hope everybody sees that. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not going to put up bullshit either. You think TBE is going to be invited up? You can sit down and chat, bitch. You know, that's that alpha. You know, Paul truly wants to be an alpha. He says, fuck you. I know better than fuck with you. He should have learned that a long time ago with Jack.
Paul can't be he cannot be an alpha.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Most certainly. Most certainly. You see him in action in some of those things?
Yeah, people want to be an alpha male, but they're too disrespectful. They're too conniving, too shifty. You know.
No. When it comes to being respectful and stuff, we got to think about the story of the two wolves. Again, back to the asshole part. It's a balance. You don't starve the one and feed the other. You got to feed them both, because the one is on one shoulder telling you this thing. It's just like the good demon and the angel. They're sitting on your shoulder. You got two sides. You got a good wolf and a bad wolf, and you got to feed them both, because they're placating to you. The wolves themselves won't fight. So if you find a balance in those wolves by feeding them, they become satisfied and they're not going to drill you. You learn how to placate them. Again, using their shit against them. You become the alpha. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to end up being an omega or a sigma. Sigma being a lonely motherfucker who doesn't know what the fuck to do with a woman. And omega being the end of the legacy. Has no heirs or anything left. Ain't no way to get no more heirs. Kind of like me. Except in my life, I'm still the omega. Or the alpha. When I die, I'll be dying as an omega because I don't have any sons to pass on.
I'm an alpha, bro.
So my legacies end when I pass on.
Yo, Keith, bro, I'm an alpha.
You damn right you are.
Yeah, man.
I am.
So it's, you know, back to the communication thing. It comes down to that social structure again. You know, people have to know what part they play in a society. And if you don't like that part, you're going to have to gain the knowledge to motivate yourself. So you can motate on your ass on out of there and get somewhere where you want to be.
That's where it gets hard.
It does. It was very hard for me to leave this area and go out to the mountains and travel for 7 months in a tent. I had a lot of doubt about myself. But I'm telling you what, when I hit that peak up there at Frankenstein's Cliff, I knew exactly where I was supposed to be. Everywhere I go, he's with me. So it doesn't matter where I'm at. Again, it's not a matter of pushing a name or anything. It's what I do. And I'm not going to stop.
When did you know it was time to come down off the mountain?
Started snowing.
No, there was a certain situation, like I said, about 30 people lined up on the highway pointing guns at, and I'm sitting there with the camera. I'm filming it all. They got their guns pointing at me and the other guy that owns the property looking for his kids. 10 acres in the mountains. And they're scooting out the back end of the property. We're holding them off. They decide they're going to search the property. They spent 15 minutes searching the property because it was too muddy for their fucking coward, lazy fucking asses. So then the people ended up on a run for 2 years. That's when they come at me when I come back to Waterloo and ask me about harboring a fugitive because I made a little 2.5-minute video of their daughters that made their own fucking books from scratch. These people are teaching their little girls how to do this shit. And mom and dad are afraid because they're living in the mountain. They won't get the right education. That's your General Public Education Provisions Act. Coming in and stealing your fucking children because grandma wants them to. Title 4D, private contracts. What do they call them? Ex parte, family courts. Come do something with me and my child. I'll fucking have you hung, bastard. So again, I urge everybody, you want to look me up, go look at my record. But remember, there's 93 cases and I didn't lose them all. You got to be fucking insane to think I lost all them cases. I've been telling you. I already beat the bench warrant. I dare them to come after me for that fucking bench warrant. I prove how fucking insane it is. And again, you can look it up for yourself, or you can see the 2 or 3 videos I've already done on it. I'm trying to get this out to you. And you don't want, well, that ain't proof. The fuck you mean it ain't proof? You keep putting everything in their fucking record as if though you can say you have some kind of say in that record, as if though that's your proof. Why the fuck don't you think that record is proof enough for me? It's just stupid. It's not anything to do with that. It's people are fucking lazy, don't want to do their own research. Well, that's too much work. It's too convenient just to let everybody else talk and spew their shit about them instead of learning the truth. This is why I say I don't give a fuck whether you love me back or not. I don't give a fuck whether you like me. I'll know that when I see you in person, hand to hand, face to face, when we interact, if that ever happens. Until then, I have faith in you and I love you, but I'm not going to get distracted and let you sidetrack me. I still live my life. Everybody's asking for this proof in public and haven't comprehended Matthew 18 verses 15 through 20. You're supposed to go to in private. How do you expect me to show you proof in public when the resolution and remedy is private? You're not comprehending this shit. I can't tell you their story about how they beat their child support case or how they got their kids back. That's their story. I can tell you how I beat mine, and you use that information to win yours. You better learn what it means and how to use it. Because like I said, I can explain it to you, but I can't comprehend it for you. So the people that did use it and won, they comprehended it and it works fine. And all of it is basically just standing on the truth, pointing out what is true and what is presumption. A legal fiction, a presumption of the facts presented to the court. Oh, well, let's beat those presumptions. I'm not the person. I'm not the obligor. The person is identified by this name, and it's all caps on that document. I was never taught to write my name as a title. Oh, goodness, the obligor is identified by a number. I was never given a number for a name. So, anyway, anybody got any last words, and we'll call it short?
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 or more, that in the mouth of the 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is why I say I don't know you. I don't give a fuck about you until I do. And that's that face-to-face where we can interact together. Because that's the only way you're going to get a true spiritual vibration close enough that you can actually feel it. You're going to be able to see it. Like I said, I can smile to people up here all I want. I can do that all day long. I can sit here with a frown all day long. But you're not going to be able to know who I am, and vice versa. I'm not going to be able to know who you are until we get to interact physically together in various different things throughout life. And that takes time. So when people sit here and try to profess they know you, again, it's the tip of the iceberg. You can't possibly know anybody else, and I'm not going to take your word for it. So the same goes with the scriptures and everything else. You can't use one set of scriptures and claim that you know enough, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. Even me and all my studies with various different religions and all the readings and all the law and everything, that's still just the tip of the iceberg. Like you said, there's like over 8 million fucking codes. You think I got time in my life to read 8 million fucking codes, let alone all the other fucking literature? You're fucking nuts. So it's all, no matter how you look at it, just tip of the iceberg.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it, man. You have a great evening.
Yep, you too, brother. Appreciate all the respect tonight. What's going on, JG? Final words?
Nah, I got nothing. You got something?
You know my closing guy. And I got to tell you, though, JG, I really respect you. You're out there doing whatever you got to do to make things work. And things get right in my life one of these days. I hope we're still in communication. I can help you out in the truest sense. So keep doing what you're doing. Stand on your square. And I love you, brother.
Yeah, no, I'll be good, man. I got some stuff on my bucket list I'm trying to do, and then I got to get back to working. Got to save up some money, and I'm just toughing it out right now.
Well, that's what makes you tough, man.
But definitely getting more and more jaded as time goes on. That's what's really killing me.
Well, and that's one of those things that once you do find that freedom, brother, that jade will be the balance. It's kind of like you got to rough a rock up and get the real sharp edges off first before you can get it smooth. So,
yep.
All right. Well, with that, thank you guys for joining. Again, much respect. Appreciate the respect in return. God bless you. I love you, and you know the rest. We'll see you guys next time.
Stay black, man.